Good evening, Central Indiana, and welcome to Porch Time Live from JTH Construction Studio, where tonight we have a cast of 1,000 in here. A cast of characters, that is, but we will get to them momentarily. It's Bruce and Jerry. They have a lot to discuss with us tonight. Battle Buddies, 4th of July Parade, Spirit of 45, but mainly we're here for Battle Buddies. Real quick, we are live at JTH Construction Studio. Get a hold of Joe for all your construction needs, 765-913-8599. American Basement Solutions, Mr. Larry Ralph Sr., 1-877-409-2837. I should have that number memorized by now. Bowden Real Estate, Tris Mesmer, 765-341-8911. Wellspring, that's Bob Goodrum's group, 765-346-6661. The Yard Barber, I need a barber up here. Contact Andrew Payton, easy for me to say, 765-318-4108. Wayman's Furniture, Appliance, and Mattress, get a hold of Mark, 765-342-4339. Shop local, please. Livewire, that's Tommy Walls' crew. Electrical Consulting, 765-792-4012. Stids Comfort Systems, give Caleb a call, 765-346-0195. Logan's Cosmos, 765-318-3388. And our girls down at Hometown Nutrition, 765-315-0738. Protein shakes, iced coffee, boosted teas, and smoothies. And last but not least, let's not forget, Drink the Creek, Cedar Creek starts up in May. 12 concerts, 26 bands, starting May 20th. Summer's upon us if we ever get out of this winter. How you doing, Teresa? Good evening, Shane. Jerry, how you doing? Melody, hello. Jack Like, how you doing, sir? And Shannon. Jerry Vest, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. Doing all right?
I was.
Good.
Yeah, then we showed up.
Till we got here.
Real quick, and I'll let you guys talk about this after we get going, but I got a gift today, and there's a shirt behind me you can't see, but we'll discuss these later on, but very cool for them to drop that off. So, Jerry, cool. You guys all do some great things for the community. But I think this is, I posted a video, the TikTok video of the gentleman in the truck.
Yes.
You talk about heartbreaking and gut-wrenching to hear. You guys do the Battle Buddies program.
We do.
And I think that it's just very awesome that you guys do. Because a lot of folks need it. A lot of just the support. You don't realize, and I didn't go to combat, so to speak. And it doesn't mean you necessarily have to go to combat. I don't think to do anything like this. Got deployed to Panama, set up down there. We weren't officially in combat and all that yet. But there's a lot of guys that I still remember and talk about to this day. And there's two, and this was 30-some years ago, two that I still talk to quite regularly. And it's that camaraderie you build with that group of people from every corner of the country, all walks of life. Doesn't matter what color their skin was or how they spoke, what they liked or anything like that. You were brothers.
It's a brotherhood.
And their job was they had one job, watch your back and you watch theirs. And that is something that everybody that I've spoke to that ever served, no matter what branch, that's what we all remember. And for lack of better words, were there shitty times? There sure was. And you know what? There's not a one of us that wouldn't go back and do it again.
In a heartbeat.
That's true.
We like being fed that.
Yeah.
But there's some tough times. A lot tougher for some than others. And I think that just getting the boys back together, and not boys, I don't mean only boys, because we had women in my company.
Sure.
And they were OD green like the rest of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you get them back together and get to talking and BSing, and that's when it comes out, and you feel that what you missed. So I'll turn it over to you. That's my opening monologue on it. I was thinking about it all day what to say, because I really, it's such a tough subject.
It is. It's a taboo that a lot of people, a lot of veterans don't like to talk about. Started out with the 22 a day group, and for those who don't know what that is, veterans die suicide 22 every single day. And I talked to a group about that several years ago, And they said, really? 22 a day? Are you sure? And I was like, no, that number's probably off. It's probably higher.
Right.
Because they can't tell the difference between suicide and an OD or a single car crash into a bridge. There's more ways to commit suicide than your typical gun to the head or hanging. So
Right.
it's probably higher than that, actually. And it just got to a point with doing Taps on the Square that we were reading these names every week, including the young guys that just were coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan. So I decided I was going to start a support group.
Scott says, "Hey there, my brother."
Hey, Scott.
Scotty.
Hey, Odd.
So we started Battle Buddies. That was actually just a coincidence. We're here tonight because it was 5 years ago this week. Is our first Battle Buddies that we had at the source down in the square. At Mr. Elliott has donated his building to us to use whenever we need it. We don't always have a big crowd, especially starting out. Me and Bruce spent several nights in there alone or just talking to each other. But we were always open every second and fourth Wednesday of the month from 6 to 8:30 every night.
If it goes past 8:30, we're still going to stay.
Yeah, if someone's there and want to talk, we'll stay, or we'll go somewhere else where we can talk. It doesn't matter. Then finally, a few people came in, and we had success stories in the fact that since we've started Battle Buddies, and whoever's been in and out of the program, nobody's committed suicide.
That's a win.
That is a win.
That is a win.
We're all involved.
That's something for us to feel good about, at least.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep it up. We have a much bigger group now. We have anywhere fluctuates from 3 to 7 people that come in. Like you said, the ladies, female soldiers are more than welcome to join us too. They probably endured a lot more than we did in a lot of aspects. First responders are also welcome to come. They see a lot on a daily basis. And so anybody that has any type of trauma, veteran, retired, combat, non-combat, doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome.
So the meeting that he attended did help him. So
Good.
We're
Yeah,
glad,
Scotty
Scott.
came.
Love him like a brother.
And it's
Audrey, I
not,
got your message there.
it's not state funded. It's not funded by the VA. The VA is not involved with us whatsoever. We don't have professional psychiatrists or counselors there.
Although a couple of us do need it.
Right.
Maybe me and Jerry.
But it's just veterans for veterans. So it's a place for you to go to know that when you're having trouble or in a crisis and you don't want to go to the VA because of the stigma surrounded with it, and you can't go to family, you can come to us. You can just come in. You can just sit there for 2 hours if you want. We'll sit with you all night long if you'd like. You can talk about what's on your mind, or we can talk about your favorite fishing hole.
And it's not just from a certain time either. I had the one veteran, Vietnam veteran, he called me at 9:30 at night. I met him on the square. We sat there and talked for an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And ended up, I took him over to Greenwood, and he checked himself into. As far as I know, I talked to him about 3 months ago. He's still doing good. He's got a job now. He's calmed down. He's off the drugs, off the alcohol.
yeah,
And it makes a difference. Just having somebody to talk to.
and somebody that understands a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of what they're dealing with and what got them where they're at mentally like that.
For a lot of us, it was in my time back in the 80s called PTSD or anything. That was just
1980s, right? I wanted to verify.
get over it, get over it, shake it off, try to forget it.
Oh, yeah.
that was your treatment for
Move
PTSD.
on.
Move on.
Rub some dirt on it.
Every time somebody said shake it off, I wanted to break their knee and tell them to walk it off.
Right.
Everybody's different. Yeah.
Everybody thinks that PTSD is new, and the World War II veterans and all that dealt with it.
World War One, all the way back
World
to
War
that
One.
point.
They call it
Yeah.
shell shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all dealt with it, but it came out in the form of alcoholism and abuse and suicides from that too, or just working and isolating themselves. So it's always been around. Now it's just got a name to it.
Yeah, it breaks my heart. You know, we put all those pretty bronze emblems after we painted the memorial wall. We were at the church 10 o'clock at night under blankets so nobody'd see that wall so we could present it the next day.
Yeah.
Joel helped us. 3 months later, took it.
Hmm.
I talked to him 3 days before. He was perfectly fine. Came to the house one night. Which was night. Shot himself in his house last night. Found him this morning. That's right before we started doing this, and when Jerry mentioned let's start a group.
Right.
Let's do it.
Scott says these guys are real deal. They don't just walk the walk. Everything they're saying is 100% true. That is a fact.
Don't make me like you, Scott.
Really, we worked so hard. You guys don't make us like it.
So well with us thus far. Don't blow it now.
Yeah,
Jerry, he's being nice. Be careful.
I know.
You know,
he's
got
got
it.
shoe to drop.
And I've had people, you guys have been on enough to where people are familiar with how we act in here.
Yeah.
If you've served in any branch, and I don't care what uniform you put on, you're going to be a sarcastic asshole to every other branch there is.
Yeah.
That is just the way it is, folks. Just get used to it, because that's how we interact. That's how we've always interact.
Yep.
Whether it be Marines or the Air Force or us Army guys or Navy, it's the way it is, and it's I always looked at it as that's just you're a big family.
You're just a big family.
And you're going.
We will mess with each other
Oh,
till the day
100%.
is
Don't
over.
Don't
mess with us.
Don't get in line to that. Don't do that.
I think I get messed with more than anybody in there. Because I'm a jarhead, I'm short.
Hurts my heart as the wife of a veteran with PTSD. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being go-to source PDT forever.
Always here for you.
Joke Thursday. That's right.
Yes.
I read that another way in my mind, and I agree with that statement. If you had a 45 after that, I'd been like, so.
Yeah, the one thing that we, when our group meets, there's nights that we'll just sit there and tell stories, joke around, tell the Marines that we forgot their crayons.
I bring my own.
Okay. But
There you go. Yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
but we never force anybody to talk.
Right.
You know, we were just sitting there talking one night and just kind of let loose with what was bothering them.
Well, you're giving them an avenue.
For over 30 years.
You're giving people an avenue if they just want to come in and feel that, like I said, that bonding with the boys again.
Yep.
That they've ate the same dirt as everybody in there has.
Exactly.
And then maybe they loosen, they let down the walls a little bit and say, "Hey guys, I got a problem. Here's what it is."
And that's what we're for.
Yeah.
There's always one more alternative.
Yep. I mean, you think about it. That's the way they structure the military, is to have each other's back all the way up and down the line, every step of the way, and that's what you guys have extended.
But we're
here.
also structured to keep it in.
Oh yeah.
Don't talk about another guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't show your emotion.
Oh yeah.
Be tough when you gotta be tough.
Like the song says, they teach you how to put the uniform on, but they don't teach you how to take the uniform off.
Yeah.
That is so true. They so many, and I did not, but so many, they're out a year, and it is a major adjustment going from military life to civilian life.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a point in time in my life where I was like, I got to go back. I didn't, but for nights I was laying there thinking, I got to go back. I don't like this.
I tried.
Yeah, well, and it was Del Comstock, Delta Force guy. And he said before he went into Delta, I think he was just an NCO or something at some point in time, but he said, in the civilian world or in the military world, if I say, "Hey, private, sweep that floor. That private's going to sweep that floor the best of his ability every single time, no questions asked. But he goes, in the civilian world, I ask a guy to sweep the floor, and he flips you the bird and says, sweep it yourself. He goes, that's when I go over and want to show him what I can do with that broom handle.
Exactly.
He goes, but I can't.
Yeah.
And he said, and you know, he goes, so after about a year of that, that's when he said, that's it. I'm going in. I'm not coming out. And he Delta and everything else. He's been on TV, and he's retired now, but he's a big dude. Just if he asked me to sweep the floor, I'd sweep the floor, regardless of the situation.
Whether you work for him or
Whether
not.
you work for him or not.
Can I volunteer to sweep?
That was a hard
But I mean,
adjustment.
that was the adjustment going back to civilian world where nothing's the same when
There's no structure.
no.
No
And
structure.
where you were when you went in, whether it be a kid or a young man, it's not the same as it was when you left, and you're not the same. And it's just a huge step. And I remember leaving Germany, and it was awkward to go from Germany to the United States because I was there 2 years, and there's a way they do business there compared to the post back
You
in
do it here.
yeah, and they actually have you sit in a class when you go there and when you come back. So, or they used to anyway.
They
Used
just
to
gave me my
anyway.
out processing physical, gave me my plane ticket, said, have a good life. Here's your honorable discharge.
Told you this. Yeah. Bend over and spread them one time, and yep, you're good. See
Just
ya.
one more time.
We all have those horror
We
stories.
Yeah, and all of us in this group here have a story. We're not forced to tell it. I went public with mine. Well, my wife, it happened in 1986,
Yeah,
and Jen didn't know about it until about 7 years ago.
yeah,
The whole story. I was afraid to talk.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it back because I was afraid, they're going to look at me, they're going to think I'm crazy. I am, but not that way.
that's irrelevant.
Mental health has a stigma to it, and it shouldn't. It's health, just like heart health, kidney health, whatever.
And I think a lot
Mental
of
health is the same thing.
and a lot of it has to do with that get over it thing.
Yeah,
People think, when you've seen some of the stuff some of us have seen, you don't get over.
Or done.
You just,
And we all of us have triggers. Some of them are the same, some of them are different. It just depends on what the situation is.
right.
And you never know what's going to set that trigger off.
And we're all
Guy
different.
talked about that took his own life.
We all have experienced different things, and we all have different thresholds.
it's
And,
one of the things I like to tell people, combat, non-combat situations. We've got civil service or police situations that people have been through.
Right.
And all of us have different triggers. We all have different sounds, sights, smells.
I think overall in this country, mental health is something that they want to talk about health care. I wish they would address mental health first and foremost, not only for us, but across the land.
Across the land.
Because that seems to be the Achilles heel of this country right now. A lot of the crime, a lot of the suicides, a lot of the murders. I bet you a majority of that is directly because of mental health.
Mental health,
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm no authority on the situation, but when you see something like that some of these things that we've seen lately transpire, you just gotta say, where was the logic? Where was their support group? Where was their family?
Where was their family?
friends,
Where was the friends?
something,
Mhm.
somebody. You're not gonna save everyone. We know that, but I mean, if you save one, it's worth every minute of it.
And every one of us know when one of us is having a problem, we can call the other guy, no
Yeah.
matter what.
That was true to me here. What was it, Bruce? It was less than a year ago.
About 6 months. So,
I was having a real bad day.
Mhm.
Just some stuff that had went on at work. And I had sent out a group text message to Bruce and Jerry. Pretty much said, I'm done. I want it to end. And I want it to end now. And luckily, in a couple minutes, I get a text from Bruce saying, you know where I'm at. I know where you're at. If you're not here in 5 minutes, I will come find you.
Good man.
And had he not been there that day,
we spent 2 hours sitting on a bollard at the end of a gas station. healing island, just sitting on the metal bollard talking. It's what we need to do.
I was a nurse, took care of Korean people. It was Christmas carols were his trigger. It was the saddest thing. People don't seem to value life. I don't mean vets, public and general. Thank you for all you guys.
You're welcome, Teresa.
Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, it's like you said, he can call me at 1 in the morning. I might have to call once or twice because I'm a hard sleeper, but but he knows I'll answer the phone.
Right.
Don knows I'll answer the phone. Jerry, I'll answer the phone, usually with some sarcastic remark, but
More than likely. If he didn't,
I was going to say,
Yeah.
you'd want to know what was wrong.
If he didn't,
him at that point.
If he didn't, he thought he hit the wrong number.
Yeah. I meant to call Bruce.
Is this Bruce? Did I have the wrong number?
Wow, he is different without coffee.
Aren't we all?
But no, we all have different situations. We all went through different things, but we all fight the same demon.
Right. Unfortunately.
The back of our T-shirts with the little demon sitting on the shoulder.
I want to talk about this. Now that you mentioned that, it says this, and you guys have a coin, and if you didn't know anything about the military, we're big on having coins and things like that. And, and you guys have this, and it says on the front, and I'll show it: integrity, personal courage, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor. And it says proud, and on the back it says, in the darkest hour when the demon come, call on me, my brother, and we will fight them together. And that's the back of it. And I just think this is the coolest coin. They gave me one of these, and I will keep that forever. And that's on your shirts and everything.
Yes.
Yep.
That is fantastic, and I appreciate this.
Welcome.
So true. When the demon comes, we'll fight it together.
Had an incident last year when the Walmart building burnt. I was coming up from the south side of town and saw that huge plume of smoke, and it's just like memories came back, and I had to pull off the side of the road. I sat off the side of the road for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I called I'm going home.
Oh, was that up in?
The Walmart warehouse that burnt in Plainfield.
Yeah.
I just told my boss, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Put up a picture of it about a big fire, and it was 5 minutes. These guys were okay.
Ringing your bell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are a great group. Everybody knows that. The stuff that you do, not only with Battle Buddies, but TAPS, Spirit of 45. Now you got the 4th of July parade. You're Rolling Stone gathering moss as it's going down the road there and picking it up and keeps getting bigger and bigger every year.
Also, taps on the square is also a way for people to get closure on lost family members. Of course, he presents a coin, or not a coin, but a medallion for us, Spirit 45, and for the service that they were in.
Every time we do a roll call.
Yeah.
Try to honor the families. That's what the taps on the square is actually
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about the families.
How many weeks?
Friday will be 539.
That's crowded.
It's coming Friday.
Consecutive.
We've never missed. We started late a couple of times because that lightning was pretty wicked. But and
You're forgiven on that, Bruce.
and we've had a couple that went real fast because man, it was cold. So weekend that Jen and I were our retreat, it was 17 degrees, sleet, snow, rain blowing across the lot.
When your lips are sticking to the bugle, it's time to let it warm up a little bit.
I have a plastic mouthpiece. I learned that lesson many years ago when I ripped a chunk of lip off.
I've asked you that before, and I remember you telling me that.
Most embarrassing salute I ever made with a mouthpiece hanging off my lip and my horn.
Hopefully they understood.
They did. They got a good kick out of it. I knew the family for many years. They were from Hall where I grew up, so they knew who I was. And
Jerry, you got a football, and
Yes,
I
sir.
wanted to ask you about that.
This is
You don't throw it at me.
no. When we got the concept of doing Battle Buddies, I didn't want everybody talking at once and going around the room. So I was like, okay, guys relate to football. So I got got a football, and I was like, okay. In the huddle, the only person that talks on the team is the quarterback.
Right.
So whoever has the ball during the session gets to talk. And then when you're done, you pass it to the next guy. He's done, he passes it around. And then once we get around the table, everyone's had their say, then the ball's in the middle and it's off limits. It's just their talk.
And then
Once everyone's had their turn and their chance to.
So do you have to speak if you don't want to speak? And
You don't have to speak. You can pass the ball right along. You can get the ball and start telling us about your, 67 Chevelle that you're fixing up, or said your favorite fishing
I wish I was
hole,
fixing
or
up a 60.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
nice?
lie about the deer you almost shot, and
The size of the fish.
180
that you caught.
pointer.
Right.
The fish I caught that was that long.
Yeah. 180 point deer.
They make those anymore?
Yeah.
It's a good group. I mean, we have fun, we joke around, but we have our moments where
Right.
it gets dead serious. And
Well, the biggest thing is you guys, like I said, you give an avenue, and you guys obviously know each other's numbers. Something goes haywire, someone wants to reach out, make a phone call. The group's there for them, and that's the meetings are they're important, but the open policy towards each other is much more. I feel
that's more important.
that you can reach out at any given time and say, hey, we need to talk, or I need to talk. I need someone to talk to. I go back to that TikTok video. That gentleman in the truck, if he'd had a group like this, he may not have been in that position where he was, because when that officer approached him, first thing he said is, "Can I have a hug?" And the cops still has to do his job. He's like, "Let me just give me a second, brother," because he's checking him out, and then he goes, he just wants a hug. But I mean, this was a stout dude, but he was at the end. And man, it's so heart wrenching. But the cop hugs him, and you can. I'm sure it ended happily. At the end there, it didn't happy. It didn't end bad.
And each one of us has been at that point.
Right.
Every one of us.
Yeah.
Oh,
So.
yeah. And we've been doing. I've been to the VA. I tried the VA route for therapy, and it was horrible. And finally had the courage to call and made an appointment. Cried afterwards, and then I had to wait 2 months to get it in. The day before my
I said
appointment,
let you wait 2 months, though.
the day before my appointment, they called and canceled. Said your provider's not going to be in tomorrow, and then rescheduled me for 3 months. And I was like, why in the hell would anybody call back?
Right.
You could just hear the gun going off on someone that was, further along than I was, or worse off.
That's why we've had brothers and sisters killing ourselves in the parking lots. I
Really.
mean, that happens several times.
22 veterans have killed themselves
In
in
the
the
VA
parking
parking
lot
in the
or
VA
at the
parking lot
VA.
nationwide. I know of.
Yeah. 2 at the same
Two
facility.
at the same place.
It's just ridiculous.
At 18 years old, they take you in, drag you out of your home. Hypothetically.
Voluntarily kicking and screaming.
Voluntarily kicking and screaming, yeah.
And as a kid that barely knows how to wipe his own, and then they send you off to wherever to do business, and then Robert says evening.
Robert.
And then you're not the same when you come home.
No.
Whether it be age, you've grown up, or some of the experience you've run into. And I think it's a travesty that I want to say the government has failed so many in their time of need, but sure as hell didn't waste any time, buttering you up, telling you, come on in, slap you on the back. And that's what bothers me. They use this.
It's a killer because, like I said, back in the early 80s, I think they didn't start the PTSD until the 90s, I think.
Right.
That's when they start recognizing.
I think right after Desert Storm,
Yeah.
the original,
We,
they called it that, but like you said, shell shock's been around
been around
World
forever.
War I, if
Oh,
not
yeah.
even
Yeah.
Civil War, Revolutionary War.
Any war that we
Yeah.
participated in since
Sure.
day one, and anybody's participated in, I don't care what country you're from,
Right.
you're going to have those issues.
People don't understand the noise level and the sheer shock that Hollywood jumps it up, and you think, oh, it's not that bad. No,
It's bad.
fire a weapon inside one time, one weapon, one shot inside, and you're gonna remember that sound forever.
Oh, yeah.
And then get about 50 of them going off at once. See how that feels.
With other sounds around it.
Oh, yeah.
Explosions and
Yeah.
guys
Screaming.
yelling. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just doesn't end there. It just keeps
No.
getting worse.
It keeps getting worse.
Yeah, don't let Hollywood fool you.
And the worst thing we can do is hold it back and keep it in.
Right.
Mine happened in '86, and I didn't let Jen know till 7 years ago. Those years, all those years I spent stuck in a bottle, mad at the world, didn't care about God. Basically, I didn't want to live. I just survived.
And there's so many out there like that.
And there's so many like it. God, yeah, you can't hold it in forever.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes you just got to find us to talk to.
Are you guys affiliated with anybody? Hang on. Thank you for your service connection. Thank you, Teresa. Are you guys affiliated with other organizations across the country, or do you communicate with at all?
We keep tabs on. We really aren't in communication with any other groups yet.
No.
But I know there's thousands of groups.
There are thousands of groups. There's a couple of groups up in Indy right now.
Yeah.
That are
And
just now forming up.
It's not reasonable for people to come from Indy, Plainfield,
No,
Anderson
and
to
I
here.
get that. I get that.
But my plan is to go to the other VFWs and American Legions and try
Spread the word.
to quote, franchise the group
Plant that seed.
and have them start their own battle buddies
Yeah.
in different places.
I mean, it's the pride thing in me when you look at this country in the shape that we're in. But I know there are millions of us out there that if worse came to worse, we would do our best to keep what we got.
Yeah.
And I'll just put it at that. Because there's not a street corner, there's not a block in this country that probably doesn't have one or if not two. I got a veteran buddy who lives right across the street. Ike lives right across the street. And that's, to me, that's good to know. Because when the wolf's knocking at your door, you want to know, you want to make sure somebody's there. And that's always, I just like that thought. And there are millions of us out there that
Yeah, when the
And
wolf
you
comes
figure-
so
out-
why can't we get it together as a whole, and say, hey, a lot of us need a shoulder to lean on right now. You know, that's what I wish would happen. I'm sure you guys too.
And everything that goes on in our meeting stays in that room.
Right.
Man, I'm willing to share my story because I've made my story, but
Right.
I held it back for too many years. It affected my marriage. It affected my health. You know,
we
it
came
affected
here
my
tonight
friendships.
to promote the program and to let everybody know we exist and that we've all volunteered to come here tonight. No one's been forced to.
I didn't force you to come.
No, but you can.
Sometimes he just scares me. Not even, you know.
Yeah.
That's just so smooth.
He just kind of slides.
Yeah.
He's good at that, man. He's good.
If I
He's
wake
good.
up tonight and turn my light on, he's standing there. I told you I'd be here. Whoa!
Yeah, he pulled up. He pulled up in his driveway a while ago. I'm like, "What's up, Kevin?"
What's up, Bill? Thank you, Scott.
Hey, brother.
So
No, you guys do excellent work. God's work. You know what I mean?
yeah, we're just trying to let everybody, veterans know and first responders, that they have another place to go. They don't have to sit in the dark at home. They can just come in and just sit the whole meeting. I have to say a word. They can talk about whatever if they want.
Yeah.
Talk about what they're going through, or just carry on conversation with the rest of us. We do a lot of joking. None of them are good, but there's a lot of them. So
But there's a
it makes
bunch of them, so it makes up, you know.
we're about quantity, not quality.
I'm well aware of that.
He's been with us enough, hasn't he?
Yeah. Like I said, that's part of it. I mean, that's what you cut up with your group, your guys and gals, and whoever you're with, no matter what branch you're in. That's what kept you sane while you were going through hell.
Yeah.
And then when the time is over, that's what you remember most.
It is.
You want to remember hanging out with your buddy, complaining about MREs or C rations or whatever you're eating at that point in time. You guys probably, complained about the buffet and the lobster and the steak that you guys had to eat.
We never complained about it.
Right.
I didn't get it.
Can't believe they let the army in.
Right. No, we looked in the windows. We saw what you had. I tell the story where there's a place called Urbiskopf in Germany that we would go about once every 3 months. It's a little bitty Air Force base, and literally the ski lifts drop the skiers off below the top of this mountain. And about every 3 or 4 months we'd go there, and they would assimilate, and we would teletype back and forth. Everything's changed now; they don't have to do that. But we would set up a teletype and would communicate back and forth to a place in Georgia. And we would literally draw lots to see who would get to go. One of the NCOs would go, and then everybody else would draw lots to see who would go with him, because it was an Air Force base with 6 people on it, and they were fed like kings in that place. I mean, kings.
We didn't eat real bad, but those sea rations were nasty.
The best.
I remember in 1983, I was sitting in the swamps at Eglin Air Force Base, and quality national exercise, opened a box of sea rations, and those were canned.
Thank you, Mike.
3 years after I was born.
They're so good.
When I went to boot camp, I was
Like,
eating
what?
cigarettes in the can in the late 40s and early 50s.
Yeah, they're still good.
They were still good.
I got sick on the ham and eggs.
Yeah.
As long as the egg wasn't hatched in the 40s, it was probably good.
They probably were.
It probably was.
They were made of those
This is how bad it is. When I was in the Air Force, we used to fight to get the MREs because we wanted to play Army so
I want
bad.
to taste something bad for once.
We wanted to play Army so bad.
Hey,
MREs are better than Marine Corps chow hall.
right.
Yes, they are.
Those chocolate bars. What I always thought was cool when you cracked open one of them MREs back in the day. Now I don't know if it's changed, but they had it was I don't even know if it was chocolate, but it was about the size of this remote, or half the size of this remote, and it was a solid chunk of chocolate.
Yep.
Made in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I kept telling myself, buddy, when you get out, you're going there and you're going to buy about four pounds of this stuff. It was delicious, but it was about 1 inch square, and that's the first thing you ate, because the rest of stuff you're just going to eat because you have to eat.
Now they had the Lurpees in between.
Yeah, they
sea
got
rations.
Skittles and M&Ms in it.
Oh,
No, they only got everything.
Tabasco
No,
sauce.
they came out with that when I was in it. They'd have little things, Tabasco sauce this big. You pop that and put it in your chicken a la vomit, and and you'd eat it. Yeah, chicken a la king.
Chicken a la
Now,
king.
why in the hell do you have that in an MRE? When you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're hungry, it looks like they mixed 9 lives and whatever was left in the fridge.
Exactly.
You know why? Because it looks the same going down.
Oh, 100%.
That's why we always had fights over the beanie weenies and the sea rations, because you didn't really know what was in that other can.
Right.
Beef patties, pork patties were the 2 ones I hated the most, and that's the ones we get most often.
The dried fruit was the best though, because you get the newbie in there first.
Oh, yeah.
First time he's been in the field, and you said, "No, you just take a handful of them, put them in your mouth, and drink some water. Watch your face go."
The first time I ever had I'm like, wait a minute, you can make a cheeseburger out of this, because the dehydrated beef patty about that big.
Yep.
And the 2 crackers, and then the cheese that looked like it.
Already been ate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And coming out the back end. You squeeze that on there, squirt a little water on there, and you're like, I got a cheeseburger. That was delicious.
The cheese in those newer ones is fantastic.
Oh, they've got
That
it
and the
made
peanut
now.
butter.
They've got it made now, food wise.
Oh, yeah.
We opened up our peanut butter, and it was dry. You had to sprinkle a little bit of water in there and stir it up.
Better than dry peanut butter.
Put it on your piece of chocolate, and then put it on your cracker. And
Well, see,
pray
we
to
didn't have
God you
the
could keep it
peanut
down.
We didn't have the peanut butter, but the hot sauce was the greatest, add to that MRE ever.
I still got a few of those.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Little Tabascos?
Uh-huh.
Dude, those were so good because you put them on. You put it on anything you ate.
Right.
You had to give it some flavor.
And the MRE, the sea rats. You could sit there, and it was a define. Eat your meal and the chocolate. You would have the runs the next day. If you ate your crackers and peanut butter after the chocolate, you were stopped up for 3 days.
So had the runs
So if
at
you
all.
ate half and half, man, you were kind of regular.
Well,
but
people watching think this is not how it goes. This is exactly how it goes.
This is exactly how we do our meetings. We'll sit there and we will tell stories, and once in a while, somebody it's time to talk and open up about what happened.
Right.
I was open about mine with Jerry pretty much 4 months after we started working together. I started hitting up what had happened. Explosion. 1.84 million gallons of JP4 went up in Busan, Korea. I was 40 yards downstream. And we had to listen to 14 people burn to death in JP4. Explosion. They call it explosion. And it wasn't really, it didn't sound like it was a loud roof
Flash.
and the roof of the tanks float on the product flew out. back into the tank and splashed all the petroleum out over the side, all JP4. There's nothing we can do.
No.
But
Robert says he still has his P-38 from 1980.
I got mine hanging on my dog tag, Robert, from 1980. But yeah, since that day, I can put up with fire.
Yeah.
Flashes as long as I know they're coming.
Yeah.
But we went before my boy went to Egypt. He's got 5 more months and he's home. He took us to a Japanese restaurant and they lit the grill behind me and I blast of heat hit me in the back and bright flash and I was done. Got up, I walked out, I went to the bathroom, I sat on the toilet, didn't do anything, I just sat on the toilet. I calmed down, went back in, and both my boys know what I fight. And they were like,
yeah,
beer, And we had our meal. It's things like that. When they stake out for sidewalks, you get the stick with the little orange flag every time. And, oh, look, they're going to do some work. I see a body. Because that's where we marked where. Lord forbid I got to go into a dark area because when we found Logano, Sergeant 51st, he was still inside the control. Flames were so hot the steel literally folded in, and he was still gripping the.
Try to get out.
There's certain things that just big dark plumes of smoke. They set me off. I just, and you can't get over it.
Gary Green, hello,
Gary.
guys.
Hey, my friend, how are you? Gary's great. But yeah, I mean, it's just I've learned. Their thing was get over it, deal with it, try to forget about it.
Yeah.
Go see the psychiatrist.
Easier said than
I'm not going
done.
to the psychiatrist because you'll boot my butt out. So I decided to deal with it. I started dealing with whiskey.
Right.
Stayed that way for many years.
That seems to be the direction most go.
I found out the drunker I got, the less dreams.
Right.
So if I got good and drunk, I didn't have the nightmares. I still have them once in a while.
Yeah.
But you learn it's just the dream. I know what happened. So Jenny will realize I'm having the dream. She'll put her arm around me and try to wake me up and talk to me. Now, that's how we got to deal with each other.
I was at the veterans.
Yes,
program.
Robert, we did.
I was at the veterans program last year, and they fired at cannon off, and it triggered.
I usually try to warn everybody because that cannon will set people off. But
Now you remember you talked about somebody wasn't prepared. There was an individual from Indianapolis come down to cover Memorial Day on the square one year, and we were there live. And you get ready to fire that cannon off, and he wasn't prepared for it. I don't think he'd ever been within earshot of a cannon before. And man, I kept telling him, "Hey, let's get ready to go, and let's get ready to go, let's get ready to pop." It's really nothing to that one that you bring or whatever.
it's just a 10-gauge shotgun.
Yeah, but I mean, he hadn't been anywhere. That guy about jumped out of his skin. It was hilarious.
Hey, Gary, you doing all right, brother? We had a head on.
Yeah.
And because of some of the stuff that I went through, unfortunately, I have a real problem with 4th of July.
Yeah.
To the point that I can't enjoy the fireworks at all. To the point to where I have to be inside and in bed before they start. And the wife has to turn up the TV loud enough to try to drown them out.
Drown them out.
Because it was either last year or the year before, I was dead at sleep. And from what she tells me, I had when fireworks were going off, my fists were so clenched tight that she thought I was going to start drawing blood. And she said I was just laying there violently, just shaking.
A lot of people don't realize.
They don't realize what that does.
Yeah, what the loud bangs will certainly do, and the flashes.
Flashes behind me.
Yeah,
we were at an event the other night, and somebody had told the photographer not flash that camera.
yeah.
I don't know. That she came by and she says, "I've got you covered. I'm gonna flash it behind you." I'm like,
Yeah.
woman talking about flashing, that gets your ears perked up, you know. But
I'm not going to flash these behind you. I'll get it.
yeah.
Thank
But she, she came by. She goes, I'm gonna flash it behind you. I've got you covered, and I'm flash on there.
Right.
It's pretty rude if you're going to flash me, get in front
At
of
least get in front of me. Yeah.
At least let me enjoy it.
Yeah. But yeah, it kind of threw me off guard, you know. And Jenny's sitting right beside me, so I had to behave myself.
Right.
You know. But yeah, it was just.
That's never stopped you before.
I was going to say.
She was in elbow distance.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a weird feeling that comes over. It's just like total panic.
Give that to Don if you want to say anything.
Pull him up. Pull his pull one of the mics, so because I don't know if that one's working or not.
Oh,
I don't want to take your wimpy one there. This is a really good bunch of guys. We help each other a lot. There's a lot of interfacing that goes on.
Do you want on camera?
Nah.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
I'll break the camera. I'll break the camera.
If they can take me, it can take anybody.
But we enjoy each other's company, but we also are very serious when it comes to trying to take care of each other. Thank you.
Absolutely, Gary. Yeah, we especially want to reach out to our guys. I know some individuals, the drinking's out of control. One individual, drugs are out of control. I want to reach out to them. I want them to. Oh man.
Yeah.
And yeah, Gary,
I'm
that's
sorry,
me
Scott.
too. I've got to sit with my back to the wall and have to be able to watch the door.
Oh,
It's a fight when we go out for dinner after taps because everybody's fighting for that back wall facing the door at end day.
That's
So
instilled in all.
it's
all of
instilled
us,
in every one of us.
Put me in that corner.
Yeah.
Let me see.
We've got friends right now that are battling.
Yeah.
They won't admit their battle. We don't expect them to come and tell us what they're fighting. We just want them to come and sit with us.
Yeah.
it's
'Cause I found out alcohol's not the way to go. And the cancer I had in my tongue was due to alcohol use.
Rank has its privilege.
Oh,
yes, yes, it does.
absolutely all right. What I put Jennifer through. I actually came home one night drunk. Guy gave me a ride home, and I was ready to go back. Thank you. I was ready to go back out. I was ready to go back out and party again. And Jen walked to the refrigerator. Six pack. She goes, "It's time. You got to choose." Me with my sarcastic mind almost said, "Well, can I drink the beer and think about it?" But I didn't do that. But
I'm gonna need a beer to think it's over.
But I quit going out. I quit partying with the guys. But I still drank like a bitch until 1990.
But it's a process, though.
And it's a process. It took me a long time.
Mhm.
And yeah, I still like a cold beer. Still like a shot of bourbon just to sit back and have a cigar and enjoy a good bourbon. Bad bourbon on bad paydays.
Is there such thing as a bad bourbon, though?
Not really. But, I don't let it affect me the way it used to. I don't let the memories affect me. I've had to learn to basically retrain my brain.
I've sat through and been involved with countless shows on here, and I don't want to get yelled at by the ranking officer in the room.
That's right.
And we've done several shows on the drug issue here in the county, and they offer so many steps, whether it be the jail or the rehab places for drug abuse or drug users, but there's nothing like that anymore for military or LEOs or anything like that. And one thing that to a person, whether it be Gus or any other dream team or some of these other excellent facilities that we have around here and some of these excellent people that we have around here, there needs to be a place from jail to where if they go to one of these facilities, to like not you say halfway house, but there needs to be a halfway house between the halfway house and getting back into society.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about that, in the situation that we have with so many vets, there almost has to be a halfway house. Needs to be from when they turn you loose. Because they take the key from out of your back and say, go, you're done now.
You're done. Have a good life.
But
Here's
you're
your
still
papers.
wound up. And that's one phrase that me and a lot of my buddies say that we'll watch Marcus Luttrell or what's his name, Jacko, and we're like, they're still wound up. And they literally are. You can see it and you can hear it.
You can hear it in their voices.
100%. And it's like, the country will put forth don't get me wrong, the drug issue in this country is so far out of whack, and the mental health issue. There's so many more layers that need to be involved in this. This is 22 a day
That we know of.
That's probably a low number,
Yes.
sadly. But so there needs to be another layer, if not more, between back to, hey, you 9 to 5 and every day of the week, every minute of the day. And I don't know if that's ever going to come around.
Right.
It takes brothers and sisters calling on brothers and sisters.
Right.
Is what it takes. When I was at my lowest point, it was a call from a Korean veteran. I was seriously done.
Yeah.
I was ready to check out. And I didn't want to do it at home because never mind. Put out the phone. Friend and needed to call you. That's where I started turning.
Good deal.
Because I realized then, somebody's watching out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody cared enough to call me.
Was that out of the blue?
Yeah, it was strictly out of the blue, completely out of the blue.
That's
And it was a God thing.
that's some divine intervention.
That's divine
there.
intervention is what that was.
Yeah.
I'd watched those people die. My grandpa died 1 month and 1 day later.
Yeah.
Fly home for the funeral. Got back over there and we flew right over the burn site to land at Osan.
Oh,
God. And it just back again, all those deaths in that short time. And 2 years later, I had cancer. My dad died 3 months later from cancer. Surrounded by death. Why? Still here.
right.
I'm tired of this crap. I drank myself deeper. And I stayed that way. He called that one.
I've said it before, kind of.
Absolutely, Brother Gary. And Audra, you call me anytime you need me there.
I said kind of as a joke, but kind of serious, that the psychiatrists and people like that we go talk to, if you remember the old show MASH? Sydney.
Yeah.
But because Sydney knew how to get the answers and get you to talk about what was going on.
Yep. Forgot about that. Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to pull down your pants and slide on the ice.
Glad you said ice. I didn't know where we were going.
No, we want to reach out. I mean, man, I got saved. I still say it's divine intervention. I mean, I got my life straightened around. I still have the thoughts. I still have the dreams of what happened. The sights and smells hit me sometimes, but I can look back on it now and see where it's worked. And now it's time for somebody.
If somebody out there has a family member that they know is dealing with this, what can they, because a lot of us are way too prideful. We're going to bottle it up.
That's our problem.
And we're going to keep it in the end. But family knows. So if there's someone in their family that is dealing with the demons, is there something they can do to reach out to you guys and say, hey?
I have someone that call me, text me.
Yep.
Call
your
text
Facebook,
numbers,
you're all over.
All over. The biggest thing is the brother or sister has got to take one small step.
Yeah.
All you got to do is reach out to us. First thing you got to do is swallow that pride.
Right.
Swallow the fear.
You're not going to be able to help anybody that doesn't want help in the first place.
Exactly.
100%.
So, I mean, it took me 29 years to finally crack, and I was able to hold it together for all that time, and then it started slowly. It'll leak out eventually, and it just took a friend of mine, and didn't know me that well, and she just looked at me and said, "I was like, what are you looking at?" She goes, "Just trying to figure out the sadness behind the smile."
You hit home with that one, didn't you?
Yeah,
Each one of us has that one person that's
yeah.
reached out to us. That one person that set us free.
and that's what started the iceberg falling apart.
Yeah.
That's when I started to go seek counseling.
But that was a blessing.
Bad.
It was.
Yeah. It was just an acquaintance to another group that I was in, and just a chance.
Mm.
And, I've been around lots of people. I've been around these guys. I've been around family forever, co-workers, other vets that I worked with. Nobody notices, and everyone shows signs. Everyone will show the signs, but you have to be looking for them.
Right.
If you're not paying attention and just blow everything off,
Don't sweep it under the rug if you see something. Yeah.
and you can't let them get away with fine.
Yeah.
How you
Worse-
doing? I'm fine.
Worst thing I can hear from another guy is, "I'm fine." No, you're not. I know that lie. I used to use it. It doesn't work for me.
We're all fine.
We're all fine.
You can't let them off the hook. And of all things, my brother, we grew up, trying to kill each other pretty much until graduation. And he's older than me. And once we moved out, we didn't hate each other, but he lived north, I lived south, and got together with family, but that was about it. And once I started coming out, he's turned into one of my biggest fans. If I post something, and I post a lot of stuff on my site that's PTSD related or depression related, bring awareness to the group. But whenever I do that, it's either a text or a call. You all right?
Right.
What's going on? And he's never let me off the hook.
Right.
We can't
You
let
got to keep that line of
we
communication
can't let
going.
anybody
Right.
off. We can't let each
Right.
other off the hook
Right.
Right.
at all.
And for me, I kind of stumbled across these guys about 2 years ago when I
Literally,
found
we were passed out in an alley.
Yeah.
Why do I think that's the truth?
the wife and I had stopped by a local business, and had they not had these guys as advertisements or cards and stating this group, and if I hadn't asked, I would have never found these guys, and who knows where I would have been.
Is that Kathleen?
Yes, it was.
I thought it was.
They,
Kathleen was one of
American
Flag
American
shop.
Heroes
Shop.
Flag
That
Shop.
is one of our biggest supporters. We love Kathleen and
Very
love her
much
to
so.
death.
She always got a smile on her face, and she always brings a flag down on every event that I ever do down here. She gets a hold of me, or our mom stop in there. So God bless her. And I know she's sitting not far from here right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you got your back to her, so be nice.
I know.
She don't always smile, trust me.
Yeah, these gals are the ones that have to put up with guys like us.
Right.
Yeah, and Jennifer, she's the first Nazarene because she's part of the Project Recovery for people that are recovering from their issues. So she's doing that while we're doing this. So yeah, she can take her experience with me and pass it on to other people. What she dealt with me,
Right.
not caring for several years. Just I cared more about drinking than I did my own family.
But it's your testimony, and look where you are now.
Exactly.
And that's why you're doing what you're doing.
I
Every
can-
one of you guys.
I can look back. I don't hold back. I can look back on everything that's happened to me and say, "Save me from that." Cancer. 2 more kids after that. Anyway, but he's used all this. He's used all that past in my, all of our past. And we're using it now, brothers and sisters.
Right.
Take our past, help other people with it. Yeah, I'm gonna be 61 next week. I know that I'm on the downhill slope. Wow. Yeah, I know I'm getting to be old.
Boy, you are old.
Yeah, thank you. Don't smell that way.
I thought he said 1880 earlier. He was doing the math.
I was still in high school. I don't know.
Gary, when you're up and running, I need your help down here. You know,
I'm guessing you were on the blue coat side.
yes, I was on the blue coat side. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I stood beside my two great uncles during the
But
war. I was on the Union. You know,
Scott says you old fart, youngster, and
well,
old
thank
fart
you,
back to
little
back.
brother.
But some of the things that you guys have created, not only this Battle Buddies, but you have the 4th of July parade coming up.
Absolutely.
And I'd ask what day that's on, but it's on the 4th this year.
I
It's
actually
on the 4th this year.
had
right?
somebody send me a message. And it was the 4th of July parade.
Valid. It's valid because we had to do it on the 3rd 1 year.
1 year, because the 4th is on a Sunday, we refused to interrupt churches. Period.
On the 4th.
We will not. But it is on the 4th.
It is on the 4th this year.
Applications are online at
I
our
believe that's a
website.
Tuesday.
Yes, it is a Tuesday this year.
Sweet.
Applications are on the website.
Free.
Free. But
Free to enter.
just go to indianaspirit45.org under the events tab. Click on it. You can download the app, email it to me, or mail it to me.
10 we need a can of whoop bars. And Robin turned 61 in January. He's
Oh,
got y'all covered.
you got me, brother.
Not only the parade, but Spirit of 45, Bruce. What you guys do with that? That is incredible.
And we're looking to expand.
Yeah.
I got a shocker last month. I got a call from one of the originators of the National Spirit of 45. Buzz's Heart Warren's battling bladder cancer right now. Stage 3, I think. Dear sweet man. He, Ernest Borgnine, can't think of the other actors. I'll remember them later and then I'll forget again. But there are several World War II era
How do you
actors.
always forget Scarlett Johansson?
Well, she's new. She's new to the group. That's where Jerry Yellen came.
Time out.
Yes.
Well,
Scarlett Johansson is part of our Spirit of 45
Sometimes I think she's
organization.
stuck in the Navy.
She's one of our. Well, I was going to bring her up later because I'm working on getting her for the 4th of July, but I doubt it'll
I'm
happen.
going to stay away from that.
Thank
We're
you.
going to talk about Scarlett Johansson is a part of the Spirit of 45 group.
Yes.
First of all,
she's one of our national spokespersons.
First, anything to do with Hollyweird and involved with something good is amazing.
It is.
Mhm.
And our dear friend Jerry Yellen, I met him at a conference in 2016 in Gallup.
Right.
And
Other than Gary Sinise and a few others,
there's very
Jim
few left in
Caviezel,
Hollywood.
to name a couple.
Yeah.
But I'm shocked at that. But
Yeah.
that's a bonus. When is she coming to town?
Well, I am
4th of July,
work,
I've heard.
I am hoping, I am trying to work something out to where we can have her here for the 4th.
You let me
but I
know
don't
if you need help with that. Because I'll
Not a
volunteer.
problem. I got you covered. But no, Jerry Yellen flew the last mission of World War II over Japan
Right.
in a P-51 Mustang. His wingman, they flew out of Japan, they flew into the cloud, and his wingman never came out.
Oh.
His wingman was Scarlett Johansson's great uncle.
Really?
And they became friends through that situation.
Once she was born.
That when
Thanks, Jerry.
when she found out the story, she got a hold of him just to find out information about how her uncle died.
Yeah.
But all Jerry could tell her was our mission. We flew into
I'm
never
going to
came
the
out.
cloud and
We
never
never
come
saw
back.
him. He's never been found. But she's one of our big spokespersons. And,
That is very cool.
Elton John has written Oceans Away. The song Oceans Away was written Spirit of 45. Have free reign to use that song in our videos. and
That's
all that.
outstanding.
They called me last month, and I have been to the National Spirit of Directors.
Very cool. And
So
congrats.
That starts at
well deserved.
it starts at the beginning of June,
Really?
and I have also been elected to be the National Bugle at the World War II Memorial in Washington D.C. this year.
Wow.
We're moving out. We're moving up. Everywhere we go, they go. And Chris and Brenda go on vacation Friday nights. They wear Spirit of 45 shirts wherever they're at. I wear mine just about everywhere I go.
That's outstanding.
It is.
Here just a couple weeks ago, we were over in Ohio because we collect a very specific type of antique crystal, and they had a big auction. Like Bruce said, anytime that we're away from the square on a Friday night,
Wear the shirt.
we wear the shirts like you see Jerry wearing on Fridays. And we usually get stopped
Yeah.
and people ask us about it.
That's very cool. That's quite the honor.
Yeah, it's an honor. Yeah, I'm representing these guys,
Oh yeah.
but I'm gonna guarantee you my dad's picture is gonna be
Right.
because he died. Got to see his memorial.
Right.
So going with me.
There you go.
They're tucked under my arm when I do
So
the tabs.
when do you go? When you gonna go?
Sounds like we're going to be leaving on Friday before Memorial Day.
Right.
A couple of stops in Ohio and Pennsylvania, and then all over to DC.
When is I know the day is 30th is recognized.
29.
29's on a Monday.
29th is, yeah. The
Actual Memorial Day is the Monday. So it's 29th.
Memorial Day Monday. It makes sense. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
It's like that for. we don't move it back and forth like we do Easter somehow.
Exactly.
But we
Yeah.
we do keep
Yeah.
the Memorial Day Monday Memorial Day.
It's,
Race day will
it's
be
an
the
honor to get to
28th.
go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna represent us. I'm gonna make sure our tap stuff, taps on the squares represented. Battle buddies will be my T-shirt of choice when we do the main meetings. Indoctrinated into the group,
Very cool.
But it's going to be cool. But I just, everybody should know I represent.
And you do
I
so
try to do
well.
my best.
So we're going to turn his uniform into a racing
Sorry.
uniform with all the different group patches on there.
Like a NASCAR.
Battle Buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Battle Buddy. 4th of July.
I still have the patch that was given to the original members of Spirit 40.
Really?
Original
Very
family
cool.
members patch. I do not wear it. It's in a little. It's kept put away. Yeah, we hit August 15th will be 13 years that we've been around now.
No.
13 years. Yeah.
Put up with him for that many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's put up with you.
That many
That's why we're a great team.
Right.
that many summers putting up the tent on the square.
Oh yeah, putting the tents up
During
on the
the-
square, pouring down rain.
Then turns into 95 degrees
Yeah.
and 100% humidity.
Hey, I wanted to ask you guys, and I got you on there. I'm going to put you on the spot, but I want to know who takes care of the memorial yard maintenance and all that, because somebody had,
The new memorial?
somebody had posted it looked bad, and I'm like, every time I went down there, it's pristine.
I try to get down there as often as I can just to pick stuff up.
Right.
But that's only about once a month.
Right.
I know in the spring, work detail out of the jail always goes in, cleans, rakes,
The
trims. Gardeners Club takes care of the
Gardener's
plants.
Club, the green
Yeah,
things.
But
I've
anybody is welcome to go clean up in there. I mean, it's just
well, that was kind of my thought.
If you're going to get turned away for picking up
you'll
trash.
never get turned away for taking care of our memorials. Matter
Yeah.
of fact, we could never get volunteers to pick up trash at the racetrack. That's why we
Right.
quit doing it.
Well, that's kind of what I thought when the individual was stating it on the site.
You're welcome, Mike.
But
That they were upset because it looked like it needed some upkeep, and I'm like, for one, we're just coming out of winter,
Yeah,
so
it looks,
I doubt anything's going to go happening down there right now. But springtime, I'm sure that
there's usually, like you said, in the springtime, they get a big group together and they'll go in and
clean it up.
they'll
clean
complete
everything
cleanup.
up and trim and
The big-
plant flowers. And
The
It
biggest
was,
problem we
uh,
have is the homeless people.
Yeah.
it was a
out in
mess
there.
for a little while because they had a couple of homeless people living in there. And
Hiding behind the
we
main
got
memorial.
with the city and they
Evacuated.
moved them for us. So that's no longer an issue.
And you hate doing that, but that's. I mean, you want to keep that area as nice as can be.
Right. It's
You're
it's not a
paying
park, it's
honor.
a memorial.
Yeah, exactly. It's a memorial. I mean, it's just like somebody took two of our Rosie the Riveter rose bushes, dug them up, and took them. Those came out of my pocket. I paid for those myself, because I wanted those roses in there.
Yeah.
They only sell them once or twice every couple of years because they're a special hybrid of bucks of whack that kind of hurts a little bit.
That's
And
a
it's
hell of a
nice.
hybrid.
It is beautiful. I mean, the roses are 3 to 4 inches around. They have a sweet, it's kind of like a honey cinnamon smell. They're just somebody just dug them up and
Somebody liked that too.
Yeah,
Right. Figures.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have nice things.
that's why we can't have. That's why we had to read. That's why we had to redo our memorial at the
Right.
courthouse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so
I remember that.
Yeah, that was 4 years ago. This last month.
Gentlemen, is there anything else you want to hit on?
The 4th of July parade, actually on the 4th of July.
I'm
Still room for more
Pennsylvania.
people to come down and enter for the parade. Also, if anybody wants to donate or sponsor the parade, we have some of those spots open as well.
Yep.
Free to enter. It should be bigger than ever this year. We have the Circle City Stompers coming back. That's that clown band that goes around
They did a great
entertaining
job.
people. They were really good last year. We got them coming back this
I
year.
remember.
And like I said, it's free to everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything we do is free. We live solely by donations.
All right.
That's how we do anything.
What time's parade start? 11?
Starts at
So
10.
I say it's relatively early.
we started early because we don't, first of all, heat of the day in July,
Right.
but also because we got so many other events going on. that day.
Concerts and everything else. starting
Anyway,
that day.
people, we get done by 11. Have the streets back open within 20 minutes after the parade's over,
Matter of
and then
fact,
people can go to their parties and their barbecues and music and.
the concerts are at the new venue this year.
Yes,
matter of
sir.
fact. And I got that list somewhere in this maze. Rob only puts on like 6,000 concerts a summer, so.
He really needs to get more active.
I don't know what he does with all that spare time.
Yeah. That's not what I wanted. It's the two locations.
You got it, Audrey.
What's the word on the ambulance?
Ambulance engine is completed. Body work is started. The biggest thing is going to be the brakes and suspension. Did finally find all the parts for that. Getting the brakes apart is going to be tough. Brakes work. That truck runs. That truck runs like a scalded dog. You just can't stop the scalded dog. You know?
You have to trailer.
We only got to work once.
It's only got to work one time. Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I mean, it's coming along. It's going to be pushing it for the supply just because of the availability of parts. I mean, the fuel pump took us 2.5 months just to find a fuel pump because they're that rare. We're hoping to have it for the 4th of July because I want that truck.
It won't be. It'll be in the parade.
Well, yeah, somebody's got to carry the banners. Jenny said she ain't walking it this year because I almost ran over her last year.
riding rough. There you go. Who's the parade? Grand
Jerry
football?
Jerry is the head of the
I'm
parade.
the parade
committee.
coordinator. So we got some surprise coming. I can't divulge yet, but it's going to be a good parade.
Does it involve food? I'm all for it.
No,
Okay.
but you can't bring candy and throw it.
At the people in the parade, or
No,
people?
the parade people in the parade
Can toss the
can
candy
toss
to,
the
the curb. However, that
one
one,
won't let them do it anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the whole fun of it.
yeah,
All right, that's
that one
Save
kid.
some for the end.
I don't remember who it was during the fall foliage. Dinged that one kid right in the forehead. Kid's like, "Bitch, you can't hit me!" Boom! Tag him right in the forehead. It wasn't me.
we make a game of it, man, to hit
Monica.
buckets or whatever.
But no, we just want some people there. We want to have fun with it. And it's free. What more do you want?
I always thought this town needed a 4th of July parade, and then
Yeah.
when you mentioned at that time that you guys were putting one together, I was like, thank God.
There's so few of them now. Linton
Clinton did away
was
with
world
theirs.
famous for their 4th of July parade. I
Heaven
went to that
forbid
when I
you
was
be
a kid.
proud of the country that you live in, you know?
Right.
Well, that's part of our problem, right?
Yeah.
People getting disgruntled over shouldn't get disgruntled.
Nope. I agree 100%. Gentlemen, you guys do God's work. This community's better off having you in it. And we wish you nothing but success. You know that. And love having you guys on. And
I've been here.
it's honored. It's my honor to call you guys friends. I don't know if you call me friends, but I really don't give a damn.
No,
We'll
not.
throw that in there.
Yeah, we'll throw it out. We'll
And
throw it
everything
out.
else we call you.
In
All
public.
right, just don't call me.
They call you friend in public.
So, yeah, I've done the non so PG-13, but this is how assholes communicate. And
It
I'm
is.
just saying,
And
it,
we do a
and
great
this is
job
the way
of
you
it.
do it. And
And we fight amongst each other and bicker and call each other names and
oh yeah,
pick on each other's branch. We're brothers, and anybody messes with us, they'll find out.
Yeah.
Brothers stick together.
Yep. We'll line right up. Can't stress enough to, if you're going through anything, veteran, first responder,
Mhm.
to reach out to us. Reach
Reach
out
out
to
to
somebody,
somebody.
even if it's not
Let's
us.
reach out to somebody.
and if you have a family member, if you have a family member that thinks that needs to talk to Jerry or Bruce or one of these gentlemen in here, say something
Hit
to
us up.
Jerry or Bruce. Maybe they can get through
Hit us
to
up.
them.
You know where to find us all the time, every Friday night.
Yeah.
You know where we're going to be
That's
on
for sure.
Friday.
Yeah.
We'll be right there on the square reading the names of our heroes.
First
Yeah.
responders are more than welcome. I know you guys see a lot on a daily basis. You're the domestic heroes.
Absolutely.
100%. Some of the stuff they deal with, and I've talked, I've got tons of friends on the police force, sheriff's department, fire department, EMTs, and some of the things that they have to deal with.
It's not something you can just wipe out of here.
I got family members involved in all those areas too, so I hear little bits and pieces. I'm like, no, I don't hear any more of that.
Mine was a one-time deal, and I prayed to God it stays that way.
Right.
You know?
My incident was being a first responder. When I worked at the jail, I was also a reserve deputy. And I got sent out while I was working the jail. The other officers were up north. Busy was, I think, an accident. I can't remember what. But they were all up there. And we had a deer poaching call out on Haley'sville Road.
Oh, wow.
So they're like, hey, do you want to go check that out? And I was like, gets me out of here for a few minutes. Yeah.
Right.
So I grabbed the car and go out there, and of course, nothing. And I start to head back, and then dispatch hits me up. And it was old Eb, Frosty, as I like to call him. It's a whole different story.
Right.
But Eb would hit me up. He was dispatching that night, and I could tell by his voice something was off. And he said, go to the Hillview Motel
Oh, boy.
for an infant death. And so I'm thinking SIDS.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was SIDS. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? Fire department, ambulance, I don't need me there. So I go out there and I walk up and they're like, it's room number 6. I still remember it. Got the call at 1:22 a.m. October 22nd, 1995. And from the deer poaching call to the very end, I can remember every single detail clearly. And I can just recite it. It's like a movie that replays itself. But it wasn't an infant death. It was a 4-year-old that was murdered. And that's what got me. And a whole bunch of other stuff goes along with it. But
I remember that.
and I've been lots of other accidents. I've seen fatalities. I've seen people hung themselves and decayed bodies that were found. And, you go there, you work the accident, work the scene, whatever, and then you go to Gaddy's and eat. It's not a big deal, but you never know. It's just that one thing. And Scott, if he's still listening, he knows it's something it just snaps.
Completely understandable on that. The kid thing would.
Kid thing, yeah.
You can't do that.
And ever since then, I've had trouble with any story with 4-year-olds. And
Right.
when my granddaughters turned 4, it was going to the birthday parties was just really hard for me, and that memory kept playing itself, and it just difficult to deal with. But I kept that, and family for 29 years, not a clue.
There's no amount of justice.
That they can do. I think he meet.
No,
He got off of that.
Oh, the mother was originally charged, and then they had another trial and let her go. And she had like other kids that were staying with her parents that she couldn't have. But no, he only got 60 years. He gets out 2024.
Really?
Eligible for parole in 2024. But I'll be there. Make sure he doesn't.
Good.
Tell my story to the parole board, and
Good for you.
hopefully I'll be there every year. He's eligible.
Didn't,
Streets again.
Nope. Didn't.
not anything like that. When the minute you said Hillview, I remember.
Anybody that kills a kid should never walk.
That is just
Ever.
Yeah, all the details that go along with it. It just, I mean, Hollywood couldn't do a better job
Yeah.
at that. So definitely first responders, I know, and that's the biggest reason we came here tonight, to do kind of a live session, so to speak. And we didn't want to give out all the gory, deep details of our stories. But we'll meet with anybody anytime and talk about it with you if you want.
Mhm.
But we just wanted people to know that we wanted them to know that, so they would know where we're coming from, that we know what we're talking about.
You've
We're not
been
just
there.
a bunch of therapists fresh out of college that's sitting there going, "Oh yeah, that's interesting."
We've
Okay,
sat
that's
there and
nice."
stared at that barrel and wondered once in a while. We were there, and it's our
Yeah.
job to make sure nobody else goes there.
I think Gary's mentioned it earlier. Scott Celadine mentioned it. He goes, "Yeah, you guys know. These guys know." And we do. We're not experts on mental health, but we've been through the experience.
But we still love it. Jerry loves it. We talked about it a few times. Jerry and Chris know and don't know what sets me.
They know I was back around November,
Oh yeah.
December. I was back down to my lowest time ever. And I was sitting out watching the sunset in my field, and I always had my gun with me. And I just happened to look over at it, and I was like, why not? But it went away just as quick.
like
But
that.
it never
leaves you.
It never leaves you.
No.
You just, at least then I had the courage or the knowledge to know that I don't have to do that right now.
Right.
Can't. It's not
You
so
guys-
much taking your own life; it's what you leave behind.
Well,
Anguish,
I was getting ready to say, you guys
sadness.
have a higher calling now, all y'all, and recognize that, because the work that you're doing. Case in point. Your circle's only going to continue to get bigger, and that's why you're still on this side of the
That's
daisies.
why we were kept here.
Yeah.
Something keeps us here for
Yeah.
a reason. I'm a firm believer in divine intervention for me.
You
I mean,
know
I
what
should have died 3 times.
You got brothers
You
out
know.
there you don't even know yet
Exactly.
that someday is going to knock on your door.
And I know there's brothers watching this program, and they're going to see this program. I know personally, and I've known for years, some new, some old, but I know that they've got issues. I can talk to you all I want,
Right.
but until you take that first step. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
First step is swallow your pride.
Out of
Second
it-
step is
Every-
open your mouth and start.
They got to want it.
They've got to want to get. You got to want to break.
Have to.
100%.
I didn't have a choice. I had to quit drinking when they sewed my jaw shut. You know. 8 weeks of that wire in my jaw from that cancer surgery.
It was a
and
good time to quit.
It was a good time to quit because it wouldn't have gone good with the great drugs they gave me.
Right.
Anyway.
It went really well.
Right.
Knock out a tooth.
Why
put
quit
it,
now?
put
Yeah.
that Scotch bottle upside down. IV.
Right.
Yeah, I told the story of my cancer to many people. I told them, sometimes people preached at me, they yelled at me, they screamed at me. You got to quit drinking. You got to get past this issue you've got, which they didn't know what it was. They just knew I had something going on in my brain. And I still say to this day that everybody kept talking, I wouldn't listen, and God shut me up for 8 weeks to make me up.
Wired that jaw shut.
That's the happiest 8 weeks of Jenny's life, I'm telling you.
I feel cheated.
Yeah. We can super glue.
And yes, folks, I love the abuse. I really do.
Put some super glue on his mouthpiece.
No, the ice cold was good enough where we're complete. Yeah, that's good enough. We did put Vaseline on a tuba player's mouthpiece once. That was very funny.
I don't want anything about that.
Well, gentlemen, yeah, God bless you all. God bless the work you've done, and as you're moving forward, also. Like I said, you got a lot of work left to do.
We do.
It's never ending. I hate to say that to you, but as long as there's a man or woman that puts on the uniform with a flag on the shoulder, they're going to need people.
They're
like
going to
you
need
guys.
help.
Yep.
Yep.
So.
And everybody says, "Well, when are you going to quit doing taps on the square?"
Nope.
Well, when these guys read my name,
Yeah.
and either Mike, Zonder, or Jim play taps over me, yeah, I'm still up there. So I'm not giving that up. It's become not just a tradition, but it's for the family.
Right.
We have families that come out there and hear their names read and realize, it's closure.
What days a week or what days a month again do you guys meet, Battle Buddies?
We meet the second and fourth Wednesdays of every month, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m.
And it's down at
the source on the
building.
square.
75 East Washington.
And we're available 24 hours. Phone numbers are on the
Our business card.
business cards and on the website. Spirit 45's Battle Buddy website.
And then Friday night, 6:50.
Friday nights we meet at 6:40. Kind of set up and kind of cause trouble.
Stop down there if you guys
Stop
want.
by and see us. And I did get a call from Terry Stacy. I don't know if you're familiar with her WIBC radio.
Yeah.
She and I have been friends for several years, and I wanted to do a thing for us for TV.
Oh, that's cool.
So, told her whenever you're ready, just come on. Just get the group together and show you how we do things.
Magnificent.
So,
You'll never meet a better bunch of people. This group right here, and then there's others in your group too that I
Absolutely.
know as we've met throughout the years. So, guys, thank you so much.
yeah,
As
thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
having
having
us.
us.
Hey,
We
it's an
appreciate
honor.
it.
Love you guys, and keep doing your work.
We will.
We will.
Don't ever think that what you're doing doesn't have meaning or purpose, because it does. I guarantee you, somebody will message me in the next 2-3 days and say, "Love the show." That's all I'll hear about it, because they've done it before, and I'll never give names.
Yep.
Because that's what they want to hear. So they want to. It's all about hope, and having that little bit of hope, knowing you guys are out there fighting
All
a
it
good
takes
fight.
is a spark.
Damn right.
And I'll say it one more time. There's people out there right now that are watching this or
Yep.
seeing the recording. We're willing to talk. We're willing to help. But you have to take that first step.
100%. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Love you guys.
Love you, brother.
See you guys. 5th.
4th. Yeah.
July 4th.
July 4th, yeah.
July 4th, and we'll have a 5th. How about that?
Before and after.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, it passes.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. I don't think we have a show tomorrow night. I think I got a meeting. So appreciate the boys coming in tonight.
Thanks for having us.
We will see you guys soon.
Appreciate it.